Clout is how much power or influence a person has when it comes to politics. It's been a proven thing to have to get things done, and that's been true in Chicago. Clout City, the rise and fall of the Chicago political machine, is a new book that takes a look just at how much it was needed over the past 250 years in the city. Joining me now is Professor Emeritus of History at Columbia College, Dominic Pacyga, author of that book. And Dominic, you talk about how the Great Chicago Fire led to neighborhoods impacting city politics. How did neighborhoods shape the early days of Chicago politically?
Well, there was a great deal of demographic change taking place, especially after the fire, newer immigrant groups coming into the city, etc. And they brought with them a spirit of communalism, both the Christian or Catholic immigration and the Jewish immigration. And as they settled in these neighborhoods, they looked for a way to get agency, that is, some sort of power over their own lives. And out of that emerged a machine. Carter Harrison, who became mayor 5 times, and his son became mayor 5 times, it's an old Chicago tradition, was able to tie into these ethnic groups. And he was the first to really recognize them. Before the fire and earlier, there was a good deal of what we used to call parlor politics. That is, the Fields and the Newberries and others would gather in their parlors, discuss the kinds of things that should be done in Chicago, and then try to implement them. But afterwards, you started to really get grassroots politics, and out of that emerged a machine. It took a long time for the machine to emerge. It didn't really emerge until the 1930s. And by that time, the machines in eastern cities were already sort of falling apart. But the Chicago machine came to power in 1931.
So, Dominic, you also call Chicago the last political machine to develop and the last one to fall. So how do you think that has played a role in our current city politics?
Well, I think that right now what we're seeing is, actually since the late 1960s, you can see the decline of the political machine, through demographic change, but also through deindustrialization, but also cultural change. The decline of the Catholic Church in Chicago, the outward, Chicago was once the 3rd largest Jewish city in the world. The Jewish population has basically moved out of the city, as has much of the Catholic population, or the older Catholic population. And so you see these sort of demographic changes and cultural changes taking place that really uprooted the machine. And 1968 is sort of the turning point. Remember, you have in 1968 the riots over the assassination of Dr. King. Then you have the Democratic Convention, the struggle over the Vietnam War. All of this helped to erode the machine in Chicago.
Dominic, as we wrap up, about 10 seconds or so left, what can we learn from the past as we prepare for the next election year?
Organize. The machine was extremely well organized. And in fact, the Chicago Teachers Union and SEIU and other unions came together and organized. They provided the sort of ground troops for the election of Brandon Johnson. So the key to democracy in particular is to organize and to try to get your roots deeply into the community, and out of that emerges a victory.
Dominic, fascinating book. Thank you so much for joining us. And you can find Clout City, The Rise and Fall of the Chicago Political Machine on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or through the University of Chicago Press.